Good morning everyone, welcome back to Hearthstone. My name is Rooster and we are playing Yogg'Saron Druid today. Which is a really interesting deck. I've just crafted myself a Yogg'Saron yesterday. And I've been looking forward to playing this deck ever since I saw, I think in the Europe preliminaries, play Tars. So Tars, the player, play a Summoning Stone Druid deck, which seemed really amusing. And this is kind of a deck in the same vein. Not quite sure it's... well, it's probably competitive enough, but it definitely needs a little... against a rogue? I don't think I keep Thelnos, but these cards seem fine. Maybe a little slow. But Raven Idol on turn 1 is not awful. I think I'll choose to gain a minion with this, because I don't have any minions in hand, and I would like to get a little bit of board presence. Let me see, next turn is probably a Wrath, and then I prefer the Sen'jin. It basically is the same as the Psychotron, only can be played a turn earlier, and that's going to be convenient, because this deck really... it's a mana-hungry deck. I don't hate the Innervate here. I haven't got much to do, but I'm expecting some kind of 3-3 or 5-4 to come out on the next turn, so probably will be able to make use of these cards here. Maybe I should be mulliganing harder for Wild Growth and Innervate. Could be the case. So this deck is based around playing a lot of spells, synergy with the Violet Teacher, with the Gadgetzan Auctioneer, and with the Summoning Stone, of course. And they all synergize in one way or another. I think I'll just ramp here. It's not too amazing, but it can definitely help me out in the next few turns, depending on what I will top deck, of course. Rogue used the coin to get rid of the Sen'jin, so that's all fine. A card for a card, and a coin is also a real card for a rogue. So don't mind that too much. An empty turn for her means I can play my Violet Teacher here, and that should solicit some removal from her side. So I think I'm okay with that. And we'll see what her answer will be. Might very well be just a Tomb Pillager, which I can easily take care of here. I can even hero power her down then. Probably not the best idea. She shouldn't have a Shadow Strike, so might lure out an Eviscerate here, or perhaps some other removal. I don't hate it. Ooh, that's exciting. This might not be a Miracle Rogue deck after all, but that seems like a really slow start for a Death Rattle Rogue deck. I think it's just a Journey Below in some kind of Miracle or Malagos type deck. It's a nice card to enable combo and get some value. I'm expecting an Eviscerate here then, or I guess a Backstab. Backstab into SI7. That's fine. That's fine. That took a lot of answers and dealt 3 face damage, so that's probably acceptable. I was kind of hoping for that one to stay alive, but can't have it all, I guess. I am actually tempted to double Wrath and Hero Power this, especially since we have the Emperor for next turn. I think I'm going to do that. I really need the card draw at this point, and the Wraths aren't really... Ooh, is that good? It could be good for next turn. We could Fandral and then Wrath, which would save us a little bit of face damage. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's needed. That's the main point. The Fandral plus Power of the Wild is still pretty strong, so that'll be okay. We could also Emperor next turn. That should be fine. I might get us into a nice turn 7. We kind of need a Nourish at this point to refill our hand. Well, after next turn, I mean, because we might dump our hand pretty soon at this point. Although I suppose the Rogue will have the same problem. There's a lot of cheap cards in that deck. But leaving your board empty might not be the worst of situations, just because Well, the rogue is kind of dependent on being able to answer your threats, and well, I guess if you don't play any threats, then she just has the cards to cycle with the auctioneer, so that's not really an excuse. But the next few turns are looking pretty nice for us, I guess. 3 mana Fendrel, 1 mana Power of the Wild looks pretty sweet. I hope our opponent is not disconnected here. Just merely having hard decisions. Could pretend to fake a disconnect, I guess, but not really expecting that's going on. Might just be disconnected here, which would be unfortunate, but I'll just drop the Emperor here, which should give us a pretty powerful next turn. Let's see whether the rogue is actually disconnected. Yep. That's unfortunate. At least we should be able to finish this up relatively quickly.
Behold the rage of the Firelands! For the wild.
That should be okay. I think I just saw something move on her side of the field, so might see a card played. Could have just been my imagination. Your opponent left. No? Well, then your opponent's dead. That also works. A little unfortunate, but at least...
I will be your death.
There's no sorry emote! I tried to press the sorry emote, but there was a wow instead. That's so unfortunate. Yeah, if you miss a turn, I'm not going to wait for you. I'm sorry. But the game has already been ruined by you disconnecting. That's just not going to change anything. You can't play a proper game anymore after someone's disconnected for 2 turns. And it happens to every one of us. So yeah, it's too bad, but you can't really prevent it. Ooh, do I keep the Emperor? I don't think I keep the Emperor. That's pretty greedy. Do keep the Innervate. Do keep. I could keep the Nourish. I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether Innervate Nourish on turn 3 is actually worth it. Nourish with Fendrel is actually pretty sweet, but. Should we innervate out the Fendrel? That seems a bit greedy. It doesn't die though, but that might be all. If I innervate out Fendrel here, then I can only hero power next turn. It doesn't seem too impressive. I think I'm just going to pass here and then Wild Growth and then hope to get something done with Fendrel afterwards. Then we can Fendrel and innervate and Wrath perhaps. That should take care of a Totem Golem or perhaps a Tunnel Trog. Could be fine. Might be taking a bit of damage in the meantime. Could innervate the Fendrel here, but that doesn't really do too much. But we can't coin out something meaningful. So I guess we Wild Growth and we hope to not take too much damage in the meantime. That is a pretty strong start, I'll admit. That's pretty dangerous. But we've got a decent retort at the very least. Ooh, that's not horrible. Let's see. So we're doing this. We're innervating the Wrath, most definitely. We could also build a board. I don't think that's good enough. Well, let's see what we draw here. Oh, the Raven Idol was so good, but I think we have to just remove some stuff from the board here. There we go. At least that gives us the board to work with, and if he doesn't clear, then we've got the Power of the Wild for next turn, which should be pretty impressive. I'm expecting him to get rid of the Fendrel at this point, because he's kind of demonstrated his power by now. I could, of course, be wrong, and that might be a little worrisome, because, well, we might die next turn. Which would be really unfortunate. Can we swipe this board? We can. but then we can't Power of the Wild, which is actually not that impressive, to be perfectly fair. We kind of have to swipe, because otherwise we're not clearing Inflamed Totem, right? So we're swiping and then Raven Idol. Let's do that first. Raven Idol with Fenrir has the strange property. I think we're going for Abusive Sergeant here. That's actually pretty good. And Starfall could be neat, but Claw might be the better choice here. That at least gives us some armor. That might be important. I think we've got enough stuff to do the next few turns. So we definitely want to swipe here. Yes. No, we don't have any room for the abusive anymore, but that's okay. Let's deal 1 damage here just to have it done. Dropping dangerously low though. That's kind of worrisome. That is probably okay, and that is a card. Ooh, that's bad. That is actually kind of bad. How do we best deal with this? Well, I think it's pretty obvious. We abusive, we Power of the Wild, we hero power, and we claw. And then we clear this one and this one, and hope to not die. How is that? Seems okay. Seems okay. I don't hate it. Power of the Wild... Yes, we can't afford to drop any of the 5s, unfortunately. I think we have to be careful here. So let's see what we clear here. We could clear the totem. We kind of have to clear this. So let's do it this way. We've got a board. We are not dead to Doomhammer plus Rockbiter, which is okay, I guess. Would like a Feral Rage next turn, because we might be dead if he just goes face here. Yeah, that's kind of what I was afraid for. Ooh. Well, that does mean he didn't have Rockbiter Doomhammer in his hand, so that's kind of okay. Let's drop the Azure Drake here and see what we get, because this is a rather impressive board, I'll say. We might have to trade some stuff here, and then run into this guy, and then we're barely alive. Only barely, though. Let's see. So we trade here. Yes. Yes, I guess it's just what we have to do. So we trade here, hero power, and hope to survive. That's a rather impressive start for him, I guess. Little unfortunate. But we might be alive, and if we live, then we might be... yeah. Well, that's not... yeah, that is. It is lethal. Oh well. Oh well. That was a really aggressive start for him. And perhaps we took it a little too slowly, but the Fenrir turn was pretty good, and Fenrir did live until the end. We just didn't quite get there. Alright, let's try that again. I think we can do better than that, and we might even get to the point where we can play a Yogg, which is the main point of the deck. Well, not the point of the deck. Yogg is just an excellent way to catch up. Last night I played a game where I was against a Shaman. I think I was facing lethal on the board with like 3 minions on his side, and I played Yogg, and I ended with 2 Feral Spirits on my side, along with Yogg and another minion, his board being empty, and having cast a healing wave on myself. Something like that can happen. It was pretty crazy, actually. Because the Yogg did cast, I think, 3 buffs on his Totem Golem and then sapped it, so that was pretty amazing. We might even see the Yogg come out here. Not the most spectacular start, though. That's a little concerning. One might try to fit another Mire Keeper in this deck. I don't own a second copy, and I didn't think it was worth crafting it. And also, the Naturalize might be replaced with a Mulch if you... that is probably the better call, but Naturalize is a nice tempo play. Though you kind of don't want to cast it against a Zoo deck or an Aggro Shaman deck or something. That might just spell the end of you. Do we want to cycle the Thalmos here? It might be good enough to keep with the Wrath for as long as we have that option available to us. We can at least deal 4 to something, so perhaps an Azure Drake, if that comes out with the coin here. He hasn't coined anything. No, we're up against a Cthulhu deck. Alright, alright. Seems like he has a nice start here, but we can ramp into Emperor, which I like. I don't hate that. And then we could even Thalmos Wrath the Klaxi. That's also not terrible. Alright, let's gain an empty mana crystal here. And see where we go from there. The good thing about playing Violet Teacher here is that it gives your Innervate and your Wild Growth some extra potential in the late game. The same with Auctioneer, by the way, and the same with Summoning Stone. You get some free minions out of the deal, or some free cards, which is actually pretty sweet. Mana ramps into Twilight Elder. Wait, oh, he nourished. Nourished for 2 mana crystals. That's amazing. Okay, that's actually kind of worrisome. What would he want to play on 8 mana? I can't quite imagine, but the amount of mana difference, well, not really. Did he draw cards, or did he? No, he didn't. Yes, Nourish and then Coin and then Twilight Elder. That means he drew cards. Okay, I was kind of worried there. I was like, hey, he's only one mana crystal ahead of me. That's not as bad as I thought it would be. We could kill this thing, but I think I prefer getting the Emperor here. And then we can Wrath that thing next turn, or perhaps top deck a Swipe or something. That would be pretty sweet. I wouldn't say no to that. Or he might just trade into the thing here. That would not be a bad play.
Do you hear its call?
Oh, I really tried to fit the Starfall into this deck, but I wasn't quite able to do that. You might be able to find a spot for it though, and it would definitely be a nice card. Can easily wipe a board full of tiny dorks, and it's pretty amazing combined with Fandral. But what card isn't amazing in combination with Fandral, of course? Do we kill one of the Twilight Elders with an Azure Drake here? We could kill the tiny one and draw a card, actually. Still not that good. Can we fit a hero power along with that? Not if we want to do the Wrath thing. We can do a hero power with the Azure Drake. I actually like that, I think. Let's see what we draw first, though. Oh, that's also pretty good. I think I'm Wrathing to draw a card. And then hero powering down the 2/2. I think Thalmos is still valuable enough to keep. That's also pretty sweet. We can do some things here. And the Azure Drake isn't that easy to get rid of. So you might drop something huge here, though. Do we have a great answer to something huge? Not really. We do have Yogg, and we've cast a number of spells this game. So it's not horrible. No, so not exactly something huge. I would beg to differ. Let's see. What do we do here? We're dropping dangerously low, and his Cthulhu is getting kind of out of control. Let's see how big it is right now. 14, 15. 15 is a reasonable threat for next turn. But getting the Swipe here is pretty sweet. Can we kill everything? No, we can't kill everything, but we can make a decent impression at least. Can we swipe? We can swipe and Nourish. How's that? Seems really greedy. But we don't have that many other options, actually. Swipe on this or swipe with Spell Power doesn't really matter. Oh, so, we can actually we can actually Living Roots this down and wipe his board, but then Cthulhu comes down and I'm kind of screwed. Well, then I can Yogg'Saron and hope to 15-15 Cthulhu though. That's not too pretty, but I think this always happens. So if I do this with spell power, doesn't matter, but fine. Fine. Let's do this. And just make a panther, shall we? Yeah, let's deal some damage, make a panther. So we at least have kind of a board. And then we can possibly do something with the Yogg'Saron Auctioneer next turn. Maybe it would have been better to do the Nourish here and leave a minion up, but that would mean we're dead to Cthulhu. I'm not sure I like the idea of that. No. So Cthulhu will likely wipe our board and deal 12 to face. So that leaves us at 6, and then we Yogg'Saron and hope for the best. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Alternatively, we get Yogg'Saron Auctioneer and Nourish for mana crystals. That seems greedy. At least we can cast the Power of the Wild then. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's Yogg'Saron time. We can't get out of this unless we draw a Naturalize here. Not holding out for that one, so let's Battle of the Old Gods here.
Well played.
Let's see if this works. Resurrect. Okay, that's not awful. Shadow Bolt, Yogg'Saron himself. Hex on... not Cthulhu, but we do have a taunt. That's so... oh, that was a little impressive than I thought. Well... that could have been better. I thought I cast a few more spells than I did, but yeah, it wasn't going to work out. Unless we cycled into a Naturalize, I don't think we were going to win that one. Unfortunately. That could have ended a lot differently if the Hex ended on the Cthulhu. That would have been pretty awesome, I'd say. Sometimes you just have to roll the dice. So if the Cthulhu came down there, then I didn't really have another chance. The chances of Yogg'Saron clearing Cthulhu are a lot higher than the chances of getting Naturalized from Auctioneer, I think. But that's just a wild guess. Can't really anticipate that. Against a Hunter, I kind of like the Living Roots. I probably do, yes, and not keeping the Wrath in favor of... I actually have to Living Roots on turn 1 if I do. I would rather keep the Wrath in that case, I think. Living Roots on turn 1 is just not that impressive, and on turn 2 I would rather do other things, and then on turn... okay. I'll do it anyway. I don't like Living Roots too much in the face of Fiery Bat and Huge Toad. So that's my main concern about that, about keeping that card. But if this is a Huge Toad, then it's about the same as... Ooh, that's... well, I can Wrath that, that's fine. And that hitting face is actually pretty good for me. So I'll definitely Wrath this, and then we'll see what comes out. So I was saying if he plays a Huge Toad there, then the 1/1s running into the Huge Toad is basically the same as me Living Rootsing for 1 damage on the Toad, so that's probably fine. No need to Feral Rage here, so might as well just Hero Power down the Bat, I think, and definitely attack face first in case one of them dies, which is likely to be the case. Could get lucky though, and I do, so that's pretty good. That's the risk of those cards. Alright, another one. That seems awfully slow for him, but can take too much time off against the Hunter. So I kinda like playing the Violet Teacher here, and I want to play it before trading. Definitely also want to attack face with the other one first, in case it dies, and then yeah, okay. Well, they served their purpose. They did serve their purpose. They did some damage to face and traded against the Fiery Bat, which is pretty good. Oh, that's really slow for him. What is going on here? Okay, we're definitely just gaining a mana crystal in that case, and hero powering. I kind of like just playing the Feral Rage for armor here. Not sure whether that's correct. That can't be correct, right? No, that can't possibly be correct. We're not in any danger of dying anytime soon. So this should be fine, and then high main... Oh no high main yet. Wait, he did not have... There's something flickering in the top of the screen. Help if I minimize this window here? Or this one? I'm not sure what's going on. Something flickering in that card there. Okay, he was waiting for something to Kodo. I can understand that. So we can Feral Rage that. We can swipe and hero power it. Or we can Fandral Feral Rage it, but then... The Fandral Feral Rage is actually pretty good, but... I have to trade the Violet Teacher in then. Don't like that too much. I would rather hero power it down, to be honest. I think I don't mind the swipe here. Sure. That is acceptable. We seem to have enough trouble with the Violet Teacher that I don't mind doing this right now. I can still swipe again next turn if he drops high main, so that's okay-ish. Not terribly excited there, but it can do the job, and then the teacher can trade into a 2/2. It's okay. Not spectacular, but okay. So swipe or Fandral Feral Rage. That would require me to hit into that thing, and I don't like that too much, but it would preserve the swipe. Which might be more important, I don't know. I kind of like just using the swipe and then playing the Fandral, because he's shown kind of an inability to get rid of 3/5s right now. So yeah, let's go for that. Still requires me to hit in, but that's probably okay. Let's see. I can't... That was not... I was not supposed to hit into that. I was supposed to trade the Violet Teacher, the Violet Apprentice in. That's not how that was supposed to go. Whoops. Mistakes were made. We had a decent Wisps of the Old Gods next turn, though. Wisps of the Old Gods. That's a total of +8/+8 in value. That's acceptable. But I expect him to at least trade into one of the apprentices here. Well, let's see what happens. Okay, that's good. I don't mind him not drawing cards here. But what comes out on turn on 5 mana? That's probably okay. I mean, it's not going to be particularly effective, so it's fine-ish. We can Fandral and then Feral Rage and then Hero Power. Wait, that doesn't quite work. Is that okay? We leave a Hyena on the field. That is acceptable. We could also Auctioneer and Feral Rage. Don't like that too much. I would really like to get the armor off of that card, so let's try this. Then we can even Hero Power still for 1 additional armor, that's okay. So we're up to 24 again, and we have a Fandral in the field that he would like to clear, but Call of the Wild does do exactly that. And they always seem to have Call of the Wild, so I'm basically expecting that to come out here. So it means we're taking 3 and we're facing a board. I think it would be time to Yogg'Saron then. So I don't see a clear way out here. Yeah, he really wants to trade. How many spells have... I should really keep track of how many spells I have I've already cast. This is not working out too well. I only have 2 mana left after doing Auctioneer into Wild Growth. That does draw me 2 cards. I think I prefer the Yogg'Saron here. Let's well play them first. Oh, I shouldn't press end turn. I did that correctly at some point. Whoops. Yeah, that's one of the reasons. Oh, Ice Block's not terrible. Oh, it's... I completely whiffed on that one. that is so good! Yet I ended my turn.
Well, naturally, mistake.
I shouldn't end turn after playing Yogg'Saron. Oh my gosh. I could have killed 2 of his minions. I could have cleared his board! Oh, you don't press end turn when you play Yogg'Saron. Why did I do that? Why on earth did I do that? That is so silly. I deserve to get absolutely wrecked here now. I deserve everything that's coming to me. Oh, and now he unleashes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, whoops. Wow. That was so horrible. That was such a good Yogg'Saron, and I screwed it up. Can I still win this? I don't think I can still win this. I feel so bad right now. I will never press end turn after playing Yogg'Saron again. I mean, he has to make that trade at least. Does he leave me with one? No, he does not. I've already used both of my swipes, so that's pretty safe. I think we have to draw some cards here. It's not going to do a whole lot. What are we looking for exactly? I don't know. Well, we've got an Ice Block, so we're surviving for at least one more turn, but this is not looking great here. Oh, that is not bad though. That is definitely not bad. Let's see what we get here. Because we can now... let me think. Let me draw another card here. I would hate to take that damage. Another Innervate? Okay. Well, that's something. We can cycle through a lot of cards here. Naturalize this. Is that any good? I don't know if that's any good. We kind of want a hero power here. So let's kill this, and then kill this, and then see what happens. I don't like giving him cards here, but I think we have to eliminate the power on the board here. And this might keep our Auctioneer safe, which is pretty sweet. We can still win this, but he has a lot of cards. That's worrisome. And if the second Call of the Wild comes out, that's going to be a real problem, because I don't have a great way to deal with that. At least the Hover's likely to trade into the Auctioneer, right? That could work. That means he doesn't have Call of the Wild, so that's good. That's really good for me. Okay. He has another Kodo, so I should be careful with my Summoning Stone there. Can we clear... We can't really clear with what we have in hand here. That's troubling. Do we have any more removal? We're rapidly... we're not that rapidly running out of cards in our deck. But we're running out of spells in our deck, I think. Because we've used the Feral Rage, we've used Double Swipe, I think. Used at least one Wrath, I think even 2. So we don't have a lot of interaction anymore. And that's troubling. Because we kind of need to get rid of his minions here. Are the servers borked or something? Because I think the servers might be borked. Because this is getting kind of ridiculous. I think he didn't even attack there. He did not even attack there. He did not hero power. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. I don't mind, but I would like to actually deserve my wins. Well, we can dig ourselves out of this hellhole, I guess. That's something. Do we Wrath this? I think we Wrath this, and we don't need to draw a card per se, so that's good. So we do this, and then we do this. And we say sorry, but we can't. We can't say sorry. Sorry seems to be the hardest word. Should be a pretty good Whispers of the Old Gods next turn, but yeah, disconnected it seems. Well, that's kind of annoying actually. I was hoping to actually show off some decent games here, but does not seem to be happening. Yep. Okay, well at least he left, so that's... Yeah, that's not how I want to win my games. I'll tell you, that's not how I want to win my games. I could have crushed him with that Yogg'Saron, so maybe I deserve that. Maybe I... Yeah, no, I did not deserve that, but I could have won that game easily. So maybe it's a karma thing? I'm not sure how that works. Let's hope to actually get some decent games in now. That would be nice. I don't think we have a great Aggro Shaman matchup though. That's kind of a problem. Do we want to keep Swipe? I don't think we want to keep Swipe. I don't even think we want to keep Thalnos. We just want to innovate out something huge, right? What do we want to innovate out? Probably a Mirekeeper most of all. Innovate Mirekeeper should be pretty sweet. Ooh, that's a very binary hand. Very, very binary. Let's see if we can make this work. Discover a minion. That's going to be really important. I like this card. I like this card a lot. It's going to be better than innovating out any of the other stuff, I think. Oasis Snapjaw is just not that impressive. We can innovate out a Wrath to kill that, but we can just do that next turn. And innovate into scenarios is actually pretty sweet. So let's keep it for that. That's a bit greedy, and I might get punished for that, but turn 4 scenarios seems pretty sweet to me. Turn 5 scenarios if I innovate a Wrath now. Do I want to do that? I think innovating out a Wild Growth... Yeah, that's probably still okay.
What to do?
That is probably still okay, right? I think so. And I kind of want to get rid of that thing. Just to keep damage under control a little bit. He should have a slightly slower turn this time, unless he has another Totem Golem. Oh, that's not good. That is not good for us. So we have 3 additional mana here. We could coin and nourish. Is that crazy? Then we have 5. We have 7. Then we have Cenarius next turn if we coin and nourish. And otherwise we have a Cenarius on 6 mana.
I wonder.
That seems to be the play. That's pretty crazy. Coin into nourish. Is that correct? We're rapidly running out of cards, but it does seem to be the play. It's pretty crazy. Do we Power of the Wild here? Just for a 3-2 on the field? That's a real consideration, actually. If we're playing scenarios next turn, I think we do. Yes. It's going to be better than hero powering here. Because he's very much incentivized to trade into that thing, or to waste some damage on it, so that's also... Oh my gosh, all the Totem Golems. I'm going to need a pretty good board player here. But this should at least hold the fort for a little bit. I think this is better than the Oasis Snapjaw, right? It has to be. Oasis wouldn't have lasted long against the Totem Golems. No, that's okay. And we can crawl back from this. Unless he has a Doomhammer or something here. Ooh. Yeah, that's quite imposing. Ooh, we might still very much be dead. Let's see about this. This always happens. And then Wrath for 1? I don't think so. Well, we can Hero Power and Wrath to draw a card. Let's always Wrath to draw a card. And this is going to be our target, or this one. No, I think we want to kill... Okay, that kind of works. I don't mind hitting something for 3 here, like this thing. It's going to be a little awkward because there's still 9 damage on the field. That's kind of the problem here. No, and there's a Bloodlust. Okay, wow. Yeah, that's impressive. That would have killed me regardless of what totem came out of the totemic, right? Yes. So what could I have done better there? Maybe all in on the scenarios plan was a bad idea? That probably was a bad idea, wasn't it? Let's play one more game. With the 2 disconnects in between, I feel we haven't really done the deck any justice yet. Well, that Hunter game would have been won by the Yogg'Saron, but let's not kid ourselves. That would have been a won game, so we can strike that one off as a win.
Must protect the wild.
The one against the Rogue, where the Rogue disconnected, was probably going to be a win, because we were looking pretty good there. I don't think I can keep the Teacher if I'm not going second. No, I don't think so. Turn 2. Innervate Teacher is looking pretty good, though. I like that a lot, and that means I'm likely to skip the Living Roots for now. Because it's just going to eat a Flame Juggler, or something, right? Could have traded both into the Argent Squire, but that's also awkward. So let's do this and see how it deals with the board. We can Hero Power and Living Roots next turn, that's pretty nice. Not if a Totem Golem comes out, of course, but might still work. It might still work. Oh, coin into 3 mana? 3 mana Hex, okay. Well, don't hate that. A little awkward, because I was hoping to get some value out of that. Could Innervate and Nourish, and a Hero Power. That seems quite awful. We can just draw some cards with that, right? How about we just Innervate to draw some cards here? That seems really weak, but just Hero Powering here is also really weak. Let's draw some cards. I don't think we can win this game by just going mana and then top decking a Wrath into a Naturalize, yeah. Yeah, that wasn't going to work out. We would have had 6 mana next turn and then just a swipe a Wrath and a Living Roots on hand. That's actually not awful. I'll admit that's actually not awful. But wrathing this totem is also not terrible. We don't have any minions to play, which is a little unfortunate, but I think this is something that needs to happen. And also lets us take care of the Divine Shield, so that's not terrible. Yeah. I can certainly live with that. I'm using a lot of understatements, am I not? It's not terrible, it's... Well, it's not the worst. Not the worst thing that could happen here. I should be more mindful of that, actually. Come to think of it, that seems quite awful. Let's see... swipe that thing? Do I want to swipe that thing? I kind of want to, yeah. And then Living Roots for 2 1/1s. Kind of wasteful. That's kind of the problem, but I don't see any other good plays this turn, except for Hero Powering down a 1/1 and basically doing nothing. Don't like that either. So, we could Wild Growth and do that, and then we have next turn for the Auctioneer, and that... no, that's still not great. That's still not great. Let's just make a few 1/1s and see if this works out. That Naturalize is going to get used on a 7/7, or nothing at all, I think. I don't think I can afford to use it on anything but a 7/7. Perhaps some big legendary that I have no knowledge of right now. I can't really see that happening yet. I think we Wild Growth here actually. Just to get to the 10 mana a little bit quicker. I'll keep the second one and I'll kill the totem. That's a really weak turn again. But we need to get some value out of this Auctioneer and we're not doing it right now. Maybe the Innervate Nourish was wrong. I could have definitely been wrong about that, but we still don't have a lot of cards, so we must have done something right there. Because we really needed those cards. Seems like a slowish Shaman deck so far. Although that 5/5 is slightly concerning, I'll admit. So what do we do here? We could Auctioneer and Naturalize, though that seems a bit weak. We could Hero Power and Feral Rage that one down. Then we have 3 mana left, and then pretty much nothing. We could Naturalize without Auctioneer, and then Hero Power down that thing, and not much else. I could Wild Growth, and then Yogg'Saron next turn. I could Auctioneer, Wild Growth, and then Yogg'Saron next turn. How's that? Strange as it might sound, I actually think that's our best call.
Job's done.
Just Auctioneer for 1 card seems really weak, but at least it forces him to deal with it, and I think Yogg'Saron can do a number here. I could be wrong. But Yogg'Saron for... what have we played? We have 16 cards in deck, 4 cards in hand, and we haven't played many minions at all, I think. So that could be okay. Or any other decent options at this point? I don't think I can crawl back. No! Don't press the end turn! Oh my... Ah! Don't do that! Don't do that, please. Okay, not punished here. Not really dealing with the board also, but oh, that's good. We have a beast. 1 damage to the 1/1 totem. Okay, that's not awful. It's not awful. We gain a couple cards here. Our hand is kind of messy. Okay, don't do that again. Oh my, the reflexes. Just play your 10 mana thing and pass turn. Doesn't matter. I was doing it right at the start of the episode. That's horrible. That is absolutely terrible. Okay, we can deal with this though. We can shatter that thing. Ooh, that's pretty great. I don't hate Frost Novas and Shatter here. That's pretty crazy. Frost Nova Shatter, and then we have 5 mana left. Let's see. Then we can attack the totem, and what else? Do remember to attack the totem first. We can Flame Lance, the big thing, but I would like to shatter that along with the Frost Nova, and I think this is the right turn to be Frost Novaing, because we can't really clear the board at this point. So that means we can Raven Idol for a minion. And see what we get. I don't hate this one. He's already used a Hex, I don't think. Geddon is also pretty good actually against Shaman. I think Geddon is going to be... we really need a ton because we're dropping low. Okay, so attack this one first, then Frost Nova Shatter. And then play this one for an additional minion. That's pretty good, I'd say. I would say that's pretty acceptable. So next turn, Bog Creeper Feral Rage, perhaps, or Flame Lance something huge. We don't have to naturalize a 7/7 anymore, that's kind of good news. I'm not sure whether that deck plays 7/7s. Oh, well, that answers that, I guess. And Lightning Storm our board. Ooh, that's not good. Please don't kill the 3/3. That would be really nice if you didn't. Let's think. Let's think about this. I might have to Feral Rage to kill the... Oh, we can't do that. I should have taken the Geddon. Wait, then we couldn't have... Yeah, then we could have naturalized the 7/7 and then might have survived that way. Let's discover a spell. So if we get a Starfall here, we can still do that. Or we could get a Bite. Is Bite good? Doesn't seem awful, but if we... Can we somehow get rid of this thing? Only by naturalizing it, I think. I think the only way to get rid of that is by naturalizing it. I don't like that at all. Let's take the Bite. And then we Flame Lance this. Or do we naturalize that? That doesn't work. I can't use Bite and the thing in the same turn. So let's Bite this. Just for the armor, basically. Yeah, just for the armor. I couldn't have played the Bog Creeper here. I think I would have died. And there's the Bloodlust again. Yeah, that does the trick. Was that a mistake? Yeah, I should have taken the Geddon. I had the Feral Rage in hand to heal in the same turn as the Geddon, so that would have been pretty good. I couldn't have done that in the same turn, but I could have used the Naturalize on the 7/7 and then Geddon to clear the board. Or at least to clear everything except the Flame Tongue Totem, which I could have hero powered at that point. Yeah, I should have taken the Geddon instead of the Bog Creeper. I think that's what I've done wrong there. Okay, so a lot of losses today, but we were learning, and I do think the deck has potential. I'm not sure whether Summoning Stone actually belongs in the deck or not. You could go for something more consistent, like a second Mire Keeper. Wisps of the Old Gods is also not a certainty. But I kind of like the card and it's worth the experiment. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any suggestions of what deck to play, please leave a comment below and I'll slot it in for next month. Almost certainly. And as always, I'll see you next time.